G'day! In today's video, I'm going to be doing a PC build in a Thermaltake Divider 170TG ARGB. So as we can see, I'm just going to build up a AM5 system here, a fairly basic one, and I'm going to point out the various things I notice along the way. So let's start the simple journey. With the side panels off, we have fairly plain screws here like these ones. Just plastic covered metal screws. And looking at the side panel on the primary side we're seeing, we do have a little bit of ventilation, which I do like. Granted, it's not all glass, which means some air can be drawn in through here. So far, alright. And looking around on this side, we look to have a ARGB controller, which I'm assuming the reset button here would change the colour of the fans in the front there. So as I go through, I'm assuming I'll be able to connect the CPU fans up to here, which I've got a peerless assassin for it. And this will be powered via a fan header, or PWN for that, and Molax for power. So here we have a 3.5-inch drive bay, which lives down in here. And these are the various adapters and whatnot we get. Nothing else in the box. Pack of screws, a whole bunch of cable ties, a couple more brackets. So when you do break them out of here, you can put them back in. Do have a little clamp here. Usually I see that really not doing much at all, apart from looking pretty. And over here, we also have a little post speaker, which is definitely very useful for diagnostics. I would recommend using that, especially with AM5s and their memory training that they do. I'm going to get some screws out of here and screw this board in. That board in particular is an MSI Pro B650MA Wi-Fi, and on top of there we have a Thermaltake Peerless Assassin 120 ARGB. Then looking on the back end of the machine, have plenty of just metal tabs to be able to mount on. Nothing special at all, but enough to put a bit of wire through and tie it up. We'll put a zip tie through. We do also have an extra 2.5-inch drive bay over here that you'll be able to mount an SSD onto. We've got the 2.5-inch down here, and here is where the power supply is going to go. As you see, we have these little soft felt kind of feet for it to stop vibrating on. That's pretty much it up there. We do have a bit of extra room up here, which is good. The board sits a little bit lower, as you can see along here. And because of that, it gives us plenty of room up the top to potentially put an AIO up there. One thing I did notice is the front, there's only 2 fans at the front, none at the rear, none at the top. So it's a bit light on with fans in this particular case. Granted, there's no point putting one further down here. There is plastic there, so that is definitely going to block that fan. But as you can see through there, we have the mesh going on down here. Plenty of ventilation for those fans to operate. So I have just put in a Thermaltake Light Power RGB 650 watt. It does have rounded corners at the top, but there wasn't enough room to leave these cables plugged in. So do note, you'd probably have to leave them dangling, put the power supply in, then reconnect them. As if you try and push them in, you're probably going to sever a cable or have other dramas. So do make sure you put the power supply in prior to plugging in your USB, your fan headers, your front board connectors, whatever else. There we go, one back wired up. Now I've never been one to make the back absolutely perfect, because whenever I've made it absolutely perfect, I've usually had to move a wire, and then it absolutely annoys me because I've got to cut cable ties. So from here, this will do just fine. Considering I always find that you're putting the cover on, it's not impeding airflow, it's merely hiding the cables. So that's my thoughts on cable management on the back side. On the front side, I have this daggy bit here. I'm not sure how to get that out of the way or to make it look neater. I could potentially route it over the top here so it doesn't break up this RGB line that's going to be here. But being that the case, I believe, is going to be covering about here anyway, we're not really going to be seeing too much of that card. But the management of the cables was pretty much fine. Plenty of room to route it around. No real dramas. All pretty straightforward. So I do like the spacing. Probably could use a little bit extra height above the power supply, just so you don't have to disconnect these cables down here to put the power supply in. And so far, not bad. And here we go. One powered up Thermaltake Divider. So these are the two stock fans that do come with it. Press the reset switch on top. I will just switch through the cycles. I press and hold, I'm not sure if it will turn off or restart them. Just leave it on that. There we go. These ones here are the aftermarket ones that I've put in there. That is part of the Peerless Assassin by Thermalrite. And we've got the A770 lighting up just down the bottom here. So looking at it from the side, pretty much seeing that on the top. Don't actually mind how the graphics card just kind of peeks out, just out of view. Looking around the back, we do not have a rear fan on it. Look at RGB going on down there. That one isn't synced up to anything at all. It's just got a little button. But being it's also a Thermaltake one, it's probably almost the same fan. Whatever. And then I'll take the side panel off once more. There we go, with the side panel off. So the fans, GPU. Overall, I don't actually mind the look of it. It's a slight little twist on a very common thing. Instead of it always being just a single tempered glass screen protector here, then you get all this crap down here. I do like it how that's pretty much completely cut off. And you still get a good view of the CPU cooler depending on what you got. So yeah, I do not mind it at all. Overall, I found that the Divider 170TG to be fairly easy to work in, especially comparable to other cases. All the inner workings of it were very similar to other Thermaltake and Cooler Master ones. I do like how this is actually ventilation on the side here. And then look closer, you can still kind of see through there. If I kill the lights, you can kind of see the RGB going through. But we can actually breathe inside that case. Granted, we're not breathing down this bottom part, but we do have here, along here, the top and the back to breathe through if you do install an optional fan. Anyway, overall, pretty fun case to work on. Pretty basic. Hope this helps you with your opinion on it. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.